So indie games as a category of video games, it's always been one of my favorite genres. From the heart-pounding suspense of Firewatch, one of the more recent indie games I've played, to more artistic visions like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Indie games are often like the short stories, like short stories are to novels in the reading universe. They're short but sweet adventures. And some of my favorite games, like I said, have come from the indie genre of video gaming. So that's why I'm really excited to share this one with you from Mojo Bones and Bandai Namco. This is Impact Winter, and this is Sweetfish Plays. So I don't know a whole lot about this game other than it's probably involves something impactful and takes place in the season of winter. No, I'm just kidding. From what I do know, it's kind of like a 2D, 3D top-down loot management survival game. I guess that's the best way to describe it. I'm coming off the heels of our Red Dead 2 stream, so that's the last game that I streamed to this channel. It was a long one. It took me more than a year to complete, so coming off the heels of that, I wanted to try and choose something that I knew was going to be a little bit shorter, and from what I've seen on how long to beat, this one doesn't look like it's going to take us too long to get the better gist of it, so we'll see what happens. Like I said, don't really know a lot, so it ought to be exciting. I just want to run through the options real quick and make sure that everything looks good. I've also heard it has one hell of an OST, so I'm looking forward to that, or official soundtrack. I love games that have great soundtracks and bring atmosphere, so everything looks... default settings look okay coming into this. Looks like there's a couple different options for us going in. Obviously the continue option is blurred out for us, but we can start a new game. We can start a new game skipping the tutorial, and we can go into something that's called expert mode. So as different as this game might seem than Red Dead Redemption 2, I think we're gonna see that it actually has some similarities, at least with survival and in some regards with loot management. So perhaps some of the skills that I've learned from Red Dead 2 can kind of translate over here into Impact Winter. I was surprised to see the Bandai Namco name on this one. This one kind of went a little bit under the radar for me. It definitely didn't catch my attention when it first launched. The copyright on it is 2018. That's about when I found out about this game. I was actually just on the Xbox Live Store back in December of 2018 for the holiday sale, I think it was, or maybe it was New Year's or something like that. And this game was discounted, and I remember looking into it, and it gave me some good ideas for streaming, so we put it on the back burner, and now here we are. So we'll launch into new game, and we will see what happens. So we have some hints at the bottom there. Drinking alcohol can raise thirst, morale, and heat levels, but drinking too much can result in a nasty hangover. Looks like there will be some simulation aspects here as well. Okay. That's realistic. Drinking alcohol too much definitely does give you a nasty hangover. Okay. So this is the idea. We've got our little mini map, although it's not really functional right now. We have the time of day in the top right. You can see it going up. It's 12:20, and we have the temperature up there as well. We got our goal in the top left corner of the screen. If you check it out, our current goal is to leave the sleeping area. Obviously, we just woke up. What we got going on here? Talk to Christoph. Things just got super eerie. Something's up. Just wanted to see if I could interact with anything that's around here. It looks like there's a few different ways for us to go. Christoph, where are you at? Kind of reminds me of like the view from like the OG Resident Evil, like the first Resident Evil. Okay, I wanted to see if I could use the D-pad to move around. Sometimes I find you can be more precise moving around with the D-pad in games like this, but my character's been a little bit glitchy off the bat here, but it doesn't look like he was over there. Let's try over here. Alright, that's Christoph right there, and that's handy. You can see the exclamation mark, the yellow exclamation mark in the top left corner next to Talk to Christoph with the blue box around it, and that same thing is above his head. So your objectives, talking to people or whatnot, important things will get marked like that. I don't think I can just talk to anybody. It doesn't look that way. Something's going on here with this thing. Look, Jacob, Acolyte seems to be intercepting some kind of signal. BD750, do you read us? Acolyte is the robot. Maggie says, someone's there. We're trying. Lock on your position. Signal is weak. Repeat, signal is... Wendy. Oh, now we got Wendy. Signal. Estimated recovery, 30 days. And then dead silence. I don't understand, Christoph. I thought you said all radio signals were dead. Blaine as well? Seems strange to me. Christoph, appears whoever sent that message was trying to get a lock onto Acolyte's signal. I'll need to look into this. Leave it to me. Alright, this is Impact Winter. Acolyte is our robot companion. Has intercepted a mysterious radio transmission. Using an abandoned church as your makeshift home, your aim is to stay alive until the rescue timer expires. In 30 days, help is coming. Your team will play a vital role in your chances of survival. Keeping them alive, healthy, and happy will enable you to utilize their many skills and roles. So, this is cool. This is a game that you could basically play the 30 days multiple times and probably get different outcomes and almost have different playthroughs. I played a game on my tablet recently, 80 Days, where you have to try and go around the world in 80 days. Very, very cool concept, but again, you can kind of keep playing the game over and over again and keep cycling through it to get different results. That's what this game kind of feels like. So my aim will be to do one of these 30-day cycles, and obviously completion of this one for me will be actually surviving the 30 days, but I have a feeling that may not necessarily happen on our first try. I think it's going to be a lot harder than that. Okay, so we have been introduced to most of the major players, most of the major characters to start here. Christoph and Wendy and Blaine. I pretty much have free roam. There's not really a whole lot that I can interact with. That's Acolyte, our robot. Looks like it's getting some repairs. I think the backstory, you know, and why we're in this church and how we all kind of ended up together, I think that'll sort of come as we play. Okay, so that's Wendy right there. And then it shows you where everybody is, what room everybody's in, which makes it super handy to find people. I can't remember her name, but I know that's Kristoff, and I know that's Blaine over here. Can't remember the other chick's name off the top of my head. Yikes. Names and me don't go too well together. I just want to kind of get a layout for the place. Looks like this is a little bit of a makeshift kitchen. This whole place is makeshift. It's a church that they're using for shelter. And that's Blaine on this side. Alright. We kind of got the layout of the place. Can we go out this way? I don't know if this is, this looks like the entrance to the church, but can't really go anywhere from this way, or maybe this is the back. They have some extra clothes and stuff hung up there. Alright. So now it's 16 o'clock, so it would be like 4:30. I don't know if this technically counts as day one. It's 5 degrees though, it was 5 degrees. Balmy out there. Alright. Wendy. No idea what that message was all about, Jacob. Much too technical for my little old brain. So I think we've established now that we are Jacob. But one thing I do understand is cooking, and those supplies you found yesterday should provide a good meal. Got a couple of ideas for recipes. Why don't you choose one, dear? Okay, so we're doing some crafting. So this is Wendy. Okay, so those are all of Wendy's current attributes. So it looks like hunger, thirst, looks like temperature, like body temperature, or her ability to maintain heat, her happiness level at the bottom there. And I guess that top one is like her physical well-being, would probably be the best way to sum that one up. So obviously I started a new game with tutorial, so they should walk my hand through a lot of these mechanics to start. So let's hit up crafting. So I guess we're going to meet these people, meet each of these people kind of individually. We're going to see what some of their strengths are. Obviously a strength of Wendy's is cooking, so we can actually, I guess, assign her the role of like crafting this food. It's our choice here. We can go scrambled eggs or rice and beans. And then underneath crafting, there was another thing called roles. So it looks like you can set different roles for people in your group as well, which is kind of cool. Like I said, they're going to run us through all of this with the tutorial, so don't need to talk about it too much. What we do need to decide right now, though, is whether or not we want scrambled eggs or rice and beans. Alright, each team member has their own skill. The crafting menu is a place where you can control how those skills are used. Okay. The crafting list lets you see what can be built. It will grow as new items are unlocked. Alright, so darkened items have missing components, whereas lit ones can be crafted. This box marks items that can only be built once. Okay. In order to craft an item, you'll need to find all the necessary components. This list on the right side here shows you what's required. Components can be found by exploring the world. Craftables have different uses. Pay attention to what each one does and the time it takes to make. Crafting items requires energy and can stop your team from performing roles. So that's what that top attribute is there. It's energy. So it's like energy, I would say body temp, hunger, thirst, and happiness. Alright, so choose a recipe for Wendy to cook. So scrambled eggs requires powdered eggs, salt granules, and peppercorns. It'll take 48 minutes of real time in this game for Wendy to make this particular recipe. It tells you there it'll boost, I guess, everyone's hunger by 15 and everyone's energy by 15, although based on what the tutorial just told me, Wendy will lose energy for being the one spending the time to craft this item for us. In this case, it's food. Rice and beans, on the other hand, it takes the same exact amount of time. It does the same exact stuff that scrambled eggs does, 15 for hunger, 15 for energy. There's just different items required. It's literally just a different meal, so it's totally our preference. Scrambled eggs and rice and beans, to be honest with you, I think the rice and beans might go a little bit further for us as a group. Nutrient wise, I don't know. What the hell do I know about a bowl of rice and beans? Alright, we're gonna go with rice and beans. Are you surprised? Did you really think I was gonna choose a scrambled egg? So did I. Alright, so now we have to wait for Wendy to finish cooking. As we saw, it'll take 48 minutes. So far, one thing I've noticed is that time can go pretty quickly in this game. It's already about 6:45 in the evening, so, and we started this at 12 p.m. So it didn't take long for us to get to our first evening here at all. I don't know that there's a whole lot that I can do in the meantime, now that I'm waiting. It's -1 now, and you can bet that the nights are gonna get pretty freaking cold. Just dropped to -3. I think that's the coldest I've seen it. It got up to like +5 during the day. I'm just trying to monitor like various temperatures throughout the day, just to try and get an idea of what I have to work with, although I imagine day to day will be very different. This is our quarters here where we sleep. So basically it looks like each character has like a different section of the church kind of to call their own. That's almost how it's worked out here. Oh, I didn't see it change, but I figured that the 48 minutes must be up by now. Now our goal is to go talk to Wendy, who's finished cooking. Alright, what's up, Wen? Food is ready, Jacob. That was a good choice. It's amazing how those ingredients can combine to make such a hearty meal, eh? It might be a good idea to go ration out the food now, so everyone's got something to eat. Okay. Go to the ration area? Oh, we actually have to manage rations? Oh, lordy, that's gonna be fun. Okay, so here's each character's ration box. Boy, that definitely adds a layer of complexity, no doubt. The ration system allows you to assign food and drink items to your team. Not only will this be valuable when planning for expeditions, allowing you to set resources before you leave, the rations will also be carried by NPCs or non-playable characters if they leave the church, keeping their stats topped up when they're away. So it's going to be important to manage rations to make sure that everybody has what they need. I guess we're going to be assigning different people to go out on expeditions, or we're going to leave from time to time, so we need to make sure that this is one area that we are staying on top of. There's one thing that I learned from the survival aspect of my last stream in Red Dead. It was that you really have to stay on top of eating when you're out and about, and I'm not always good with that. So my characters, both Arthur Morgan and John Marston in that game, were very underweight, very in not good health for so much of the game because I did not stay on top of it. So I want to improve on that going into this one. I want to apply what I have learned. Alright, so in the left panel, cycle through your team members and view their stats. This is a good way of assessing who might need items. Once you've selected a non-playable character, you can apply food and drink items to the ration slots. As rations are selected, look for modifiers next to the relevant stats. So if Christoph is at 70 in hunger and I give him something that has a modifier of plus 30 to it, the beans have a modifier of plus 15 to it for hunger. It'll show that modifier when I go to assign it to him, so I'll be able to see kind of how much he's getting bumped up there when I select it. So let's cycle through the characters here. It'll be good to get refamiliarized with them all. So we have Christoph. That's the first dude that we spoke to in the room with our friend, that little robot. Maggie, right, that's the other female character. That is the chick that I totally forgot about. We have Wendy. She cooked the rice and beans, and see, complimented me on making a good choice for a hearty meal. So I feel like I'm already on Wendy's good side. That's a good thing. Wendy's are like a distant cousin of Karen's. You want to make sure that you don't get on their bad side. Blaine is the final dude here. So 4 of them in total. We have 2 dudes, Christoph and Blaine, and we have Wendy and Maggie. So right now we have raw meat as one of the rations, and then we have rice and beans as well. There's other categories here, so we can assign things besides food. There's a category for drinks that we can assign to these different characters. Okay, and that's it. So really food and drink. These are rations marks. What else would there be? Wendy, with the pot of rice and beans that she cooked, is enough for 4 portions. Now my concern is there's 4 of them plus me, so there's really 5 of us in total. There's 4 things of rice and beans, so who's not eating today? I'm gonna sacrifice myself here. I'm gonna, right off the bat, I will give the 4 of them the rice and beans to start. So we'll go, Christoph, you get some rice and beans. Maggie, you get some rice and beans. Wendy, you get some rice and beans. Blaine, you also get some rice and beans. Surprise. So now we have to return to Wendy. I feel like Oprah here, just giving stuff away. You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a bowl of rice and beans, and you get a bowl of rice and beans. I'm suddenly very envious of Oprah. What up, girl? No, you don't want to talk to me from that angle? Alright. Well done, dear. Good to know we all have a full meal today. As you know, using rations is a good way of managing what we all have to eat and drink. Also keep an eye on the ration list itself. So we have to not only stay on top of handing the rations out and making sure that everybody is eating and staying healthy and well, but we have to make sure that we're staying on top of the quantity of rations that we have as well, to make sure that we always have food kind of ready to be cooked, ready to go. Some of the team love particular recipes, and assigning them to the right person will boost morale. So looks like we have a larger kind of group morale. We want to focus on that. Different people will like different foods, so we need to try and make a point to find out what certain people like. Ideally, I don't want to get on anybody's bad side here. But I must say, Wendy's my girl so far. Alright. Oh, you might want to speak to Blaine. I think he wanted to ask you something. And remember, Jacob, anytime you want a recipe cooked, come see me. So Wendy is going to be my girl for food, mostly at this point. That's good. We're identifying people's strengths. This is good. It's almost midnight now. We've almost been in-game for about 12 in-game hours. What's up, buddy? Hey, kid, I've been thinking. I know you're the one leading this team, but maybe we can help out around here too. Let's talk roles. So, you don't have to worry about all the boring stuff. We can look after ourselves. But that doesn't mean you can't give us jobs to do. But that doesn't mean you can't give us jobs to do. Roles that we can undertake when the time is right. I'm sure you'll learn new rules as time passes. Yeah, I'm sure I will. Okay, so here's where we're going to find out about the roles, which is just underneath the crafting option here when you talk to someone. You can see Blaine's attributes are a little different here. You can see his energy has gone down quite a bit. His happiness is only at 52, so he's not one of the happier dudes around here. So these are all the different roles, the role lists. Roles can be assigned to team members, allowing you to control what specific jobs they'll undertake. The role list lets you select from any available roles. Darkened items are yet to be unlocked, whereas lit ones can be selected. New roles need to be unlocked, and this will be done as you level up. Highlight a darkened role to see the level you need to achieve in order to unlock it, making it available for selection. Only a single role can be chosen each time you level up, so choose wisely. So each time we level up, we'll get to unlock one role. So it's another thing that we need to manage. Who has what roles we want to unlock first going forward. Right now, I only see one role unlocked, and that's Heavy Sleeper. Pros and cons. Every role has a positive and negative effect while applied. Pay attention to what each role does and adapt your choices to specific situations. So these are all the roles in the game. It's one hell of a list. Everything from Lookout, Fuel Watch, Fire Watch, Explorer, Cook. I know who's getting the cook role. Hopefully everyone likes Wendy's cooking. I haven't been able to try it yet because I gave all the damn rations away. Anyways, only one role right now, and that's Heavy Sleeper. And that's what we're going to get Blaine right now. That's our goal right now anyways. Now the pro to Heavy Sleeper is that morale increases. When sleeping, his morale will go up, his happiness, that little happy face, the last one on the attribute list on the left. Energy, temperature, hunger, thirst, and I was calling it happiness, but that's actually morale. So that will actually go up. But the con there is that energy regains slower when sleeping. So he may not be able to maximize the energy that he gets when sleeping because his energy increase while sleeping is going to be more of a trickle than anything. But we're going to give it to him. A good choice. I'm feeling real tired after crafting that tent earlier. I need to go grab some sleep. Might be a good idea to pack the tent in your inventory. Oh, and you might want to eat something while you're there too. So now our goal is to visit the storage area. Blaine looks like one of the older folks in the group. I would say Wendy and Blaine are the older ones from my initial observations here, and it looks like Maggie and Kristoff are the younger ones. It's hard to tell what Jacob's age is here. But Blaine, yeah, I'm not surprised that his energy was lower than some of the other people that we've communicated with, being one of the older ones in the group. He did say he just crafted a tent as well, so I'm sure that expended some of his energy. The older ones are probably going to be harder to keep happy as well. Wouldn't surprise me. Alright, so here's the storage area, conveniently located next to the ration handouts, the ration boxes. Storage. This is the church storage. Here you'll store the items you find alongside anything that you build. Items in storage can be used to craft upgrades. Team members will automatically use these supplies when needed. Food and drink will be consumed when stats become low. So this is storage. If we have bulk food or drink, it's something that we can place here, and people will come to use the supplies. The NPCs will use the supplies as needed. The list on the left shows all items currently in storage. You can change categories to make finding certain items easier, so we can kind of sort. That's good, because I have a feeling that we're going to come across a lot of loot in this game. I've been warned going in. This is Acolyte's inventory grid. Any items moved here will be taken with you when you leave the church. So when we leave the premises that we're on now, Acolyte, our little robot, will come with us. And he's almost like our little backpack. He will carry items while we're out, and then when we come back here. So really a lot of items will be between Acolyte and storage, and then between my inventory and the ration boxes. This area shows the stats for any item you've got highlighted. This area shows Jacob's current stats. Wherever you see an item, you have the ability to use it to keep stats topped up. So this is where I can kind of boost myself and utilize the resources that we have available. So add the 10 to the inventory and eat a food item. I gave all the rice and beans away, so yeah, it would be nice to eat something. Okay, so that's cool. Here's the campsite tent, and it shows you how much the campsite tent is going to take up in our inventory. So it takes up 8 squares of Acolyte's inventory in total. You can see a chair leg would take 2. Oh, and it tells you there, anyways. You see 4x2 for the campsite tent, 1x2 for the chair leg. So it tells you there as well. Amazing. And then we have some loose ingredients as well. We'll still have the materials necessary for the scrambled eggs because we went the opposite route and did rice and beans. So our next meal is already kind of planned out for us with the powdered eggs, the peppercorns, and the salt granules. We have some screws here and a wooden shingle. It's kind of good to know what we have sitting around in storage. Take the campsite tent out. I don't know. Is there anything else that you think we should use? Let's just keep everything here for now, and I don't even know what some of these things will really be needed for. So, one thing I did not do was I did not eat a food item. I don't want to eat raw meat, but I don't really want to have to eat powdered eggs, peppercorns, or salt granules together. Maybe I would eat that, but can I get Wendy to, like, make me something? Wendy, make me a sandwich. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I take that back. No. Really? I gotta eat one of those loose food items. I knew I should have kept one of the rice and beans for me, and I should have just slipped some salt granules in Blaine's ration box and said, oops, we ran out of food. Because now I'm kind of screwed. I guess I'm eating raw meat. I'd be lying if I said that wasn't the worst meal that Jacob's ever had in his life. Alright, so we gotta talk to Blaine again. There's really 2 different speeds to move at here. You can walk like this, and then you can kind of run as well. Oh, apparently we all sleep here. I thought each one of these sections was kind of cordoned off for a different character, but it looks like, yeah, like this is the kitchen. Supplies were down there. I don't know. What do I know? Blaine is sleeping. Do I really have to wake him up? Ugh. Can't you see I'm sleeping here, kid? Survival tools, catching wildlife, camping, navigation. We can talk about all that in the morning. Now let an old man sleep. Why don't you go check in with Kristoff? Find out what's happening with that little robot of his. So now we have to go talk to Kristoff. Pretty straightforward tasks being given to us right now. Kristoff is over here with Acolyte. What's up, buddy? Ah, Jacob, encouraging news. I've managed to reverse Acolyte's signal modulator and decode that message we received. I had to bypass the BIOS load functions and reroute the firmware override switch. Yeah, my response exactly. Oh, sorry, what this basically means is there's somebody out there trying to get a lock on our position. No idea who, but with all the bad weather out here, it's making it difficult to track Acolyte's rescue signal and our location. Didn't that radio message mention something about 30 days? That's correct. It'll be 30 days before Acolyte's rescue signal can be precisely located. After that, who knows what will happen. So we finally have our official rescue timer. Oh boy. 30 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes. We're right at 30 days right now until rescue. All right, here we go. Think there's a way of increasing Acolyte's rescue signal and speeding things up? 30 days in one location isn't going to be easy. No, Jacob, it is not. It's going to be rather frustrating, actually. Already ahead of you. Excuse me, Jacob. Acolyte has a deep learning protocol installed. Really advanced stuff, and it enables him to learn and improve through actions. I've rerouted this to the rescue signal. Alright, so this is going to be kind of like the XP system, I guess, leveling up. RP will be earned as you play, from general exploration and making discoveries to crafting new items and helping strangers. As you level up, the rescue timer will reduce. So we can actually get rescued from this location in less than 30 days by gaining RP. The current rescue timer can be viewed via the player menu. Here you can also view Jacob's vitals alongside current level and RP information. So, yeah, I was wondering, like, viewing everyone else's stats, how can I quickly access my own vitals and attributes? All right, we just pull them up with the player menu, and then we can get an idea of what level we're at, how much RP we are away from the next level, and how much time we have until rescue. So, you're saying that the more me and Acolyte accomplish and discover, the faster that rescue timer will reduce. How about a small-scale test? Perhaps you'll be so kind as to give these tools to Maggie. She left them in the storage area yesterday. New event, Maggie's tools. Kristoff has found Maggie's tools in the storage area and in an effort to demonstrate Acolyte's learning capabilities has asked you to return them to her. Alright, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. With a bucket full of Pakisi. You got it. Maggie. Alright. Maggie is the one we really have probably communicated with the least here off the bat. What up, girl? Give items. Jacob, are those my tools? Okay, so this is, I guess, like the person-to-person trade system, if you will. I have one tool belt. She's gonna receive one tool belt. Maybe we can get things back in return. And event success. So I guess event is like a quest, equivalent to like a quest. So Maggie's tools. You return Maggie's tools and earned your first RP. RP, okay, stands for rescue points. So instead of like experience points, they got all fancy with it. So we gained our first 100 RP. We know that we need 500 to get to the next level after level 1, which, if I remember from kindergarten correctly, would be level 2. We have our first 100, so we're 400 RP away from level 2. All right, talk to Kristoff. This little robot is really something. Just by doing simple tasks, Acolyte will gain rescue points, earn enough rescue points to level up, and the rescue timer will reduce. Genius. Oh, I think Maggie is calling you, Jacob. Let me know if you need any help upgrading Acolyte. I've got some great ideas of how we can improve functionality. And we're going back to Maggie. This is good. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be kind of like information overload here at the beginning, and it might seem a little bit overwhelming, but so far it's pretty cool. And so far I like the way a lot of these mechanics work. It's pretty easy. The user interface is really easy. The way everything is displayed is really easy. And I don't mean to be a grammar Nazi, but the grammar's been great so far. All right, Maggie, talk to me. Hey Jacob, interesting news about Kristoff's robot. Wonder what that radio message was about. Oh, and thanks for finding my tools. Forgot I'd left them in the storage area. Guess it means we get that ladder fixed so you can get back to exploring outside. Interesting. I have some leftover junk from building those beds, so I should have everything I need to start the repair work. In fact, I've got some spares that you could use to fuel the fire. Here, take this stuff and go warm the team up. Go to the fire. Okay. Interesting. So, the fuel here at the fire, we have to make sure that we keep this fire in the center of the church going. Right now, we can see that there's enough fuel to last us 12 hours, but that will reduce slowly. But we can add to the fuel. Okay, so some of the things that we found in storage earlier, such as chair legs. Right. Awesome. So Maggie was saying that she put together some beds recently, and she had some leftover parts. When we were just recently in storage, we saw some spare like screws and the chair leg, and the wooden shingle, and I was like, what is all this stuff for? This is all stuff that you can use to fuel the fire. Very cool. I like that. Fuel menu. Use the resources menu to add burnable items to the fire and increase its life. Keeping the fire burning will keep your team's heat stats topped up. Right, so that's that temperature vital attribute that I pointed out that's represented with snowflake. You want to keep your team members warm just as much as you want to keep them fed. Make sure they don't get parched. The fire is equipped with a station that allows you to cook food. Okay, I figured there would be something like this with that raw meat. That's why I was trying, when it asked me to eat something, I didn't really want to eat that raw meat. We had all of these ingredients. I could have probably cooked something, but it's holding my hand through all of this stuff first, show me how to do all this stuff for the first time, and then I'll be on my own. The fire is equipped with a station that allows you to cook food. Yeah, toggle the cook tab to choose from available food items. Cooking food can slightly increase stat values. So right now I'm adding stuff to the fire. We've got a lot of chair legs, so why don't I add 2 chair legs. Let's just do 3 chair legs. That'll keep it burning for just shy of 24 hours. It's at 95%. Oh, it wants me to get all the way up to 100%. Alright, whatever. Now we can talk to Maggie again. So I don't really have free roam just yet. Still kind of going through this like early tutorial phase. Much warmer. This place is actually pretty cozy when the fire is roaring, don't you think? Remember to keep it burning to stop the cold setting in. Now, about those repairs. Open Maggie's NPC menu. The NPC menu lets you view a team member's vitals and issue commands. So again, this is that menu where it's going to show the characters' vitals, 5 main categories: energy, heat, hunger, thirst, and morale or happiness. Plus overall health level, which is the one that's just underneath their picture. Oh, I missed that one. So you have the overall health level, the heart. That little stick person is energy consumed by moving and working. A team member will sleep to increase energy. Temperatures will drop, increase based on the fire level. Your team will need to eat to keep their hunger levels topped up. Drinkable items will increase your team's thirst level. Morale will drop and increase based on the other stats. Crafting luxury items can provide a quick boost as well. NPC commands, we've already gone through them a little bit with crafting and roll, but here's some more. Although NPCs are automated with their own wants and needs, you can issue them with commands. Whether they cooperate will be based on their stats and current actions. I'm seeing a lot of similarities to like a simulation game. Think like The Sims with this. There's definitely some sim-like characteristics and mechanics built into this one. Some similarities for sure. hunger and thirst and everything else. I'm surprised that there's not a toilet to go take a poo in. Alright, so select the crafting action. We've already done some crafting with Wendy when we did when we made the rice and beans, and then we've already messed with the roll section with Blaine a little bit when we set his role as heavy sleeper. Wouldn't want him to do anything else. Alright, so now that we're in crafting with Maggie, she wants to repair the ladder so that we can get back outside again. Apparently we need the ladder to get outside to get back to exploring, so... Oh, there we go. Last night's storm broke the church ladder, meaning Jacob is unable to venture outside. Repairing the ladder will once again provide access to, the void. I'm excited to find out a little bit more about what is outside, why the world is the way it is, how we all kind of ended up here. Hopefully they shed some light on that backstory. So we're going to select her to repair the ladder. Honestly, it's going to take me some time to get that ladder fixed. You might want to grab some sleep before I finish up. Got a feeling tomorrow's going to be a busy day. I think it said it's going to take her 24 hours to fix the ladder. So, much like we identified cooking as one of Wendy's strengths, we have just identified repairing and keeping things in tip-top shape, one of Maggie's strengths. So, this is good. Our fuel is still good. It's been about 24 hours in-game since we started playing here in the church. So... yeah, I think it is almost time for bed here. Not much else for us to do. Gameplay right now is still pretty linear, but I think it'll start to open up here and go more towards a free roam very soon. Alright, so sleeping. Sleeping will save your game and is a way for Jacob to regain energy. Jacob can sleep in a bed at the church or in a campsite tent. So we know we have the tent in our inventory now. I assume when we go out and start exploring the world beyond that we'll use our tent as a means of saving the game and sleeping. Okay, good to know. While sleeping, you can see Jacob's stats and the rescue timer being affected by the passing of time. Note, sleeping can be canceled at any time. That's good to know. Again, kind of similar to The Sims there. You got to make sure that they get some rest, for their overall well-being. You'll see time pass. You can kind of wake them up and cancel the sleep command at any point. You'll see his vitals, everything from his hunger and thirst, change in real time as he's sleeping, as time passes. So we'll see that happen here in a second. Alright, now officially above the timer in the top right corner, we have a day now. It's officially day one that we launched into now, having slept for the first time. A balmy 11 degrees outside, awesome. Choose a path, your adventure begins. Working as a team is an important part of the Impact Winter experience. However, each member also has their own solitary path for you to explore, determining the skills and rewards you'll receive. Explore each path as you choose to find the best survival strategy. Okay, so it's going to be less hand-holding now and more just kind of figure your shit out. I don't even know where to start here. I guess let's talk to some folks and see what's up. Our fuel is still good. Jacob, I've noticed how much food we have in storage. Very reassuring. So each character, when you go up to them, 2 different commands, menu and talk. When I open up the menu, say on Kristoff, there's all of his vitals. I can choose for Kristoff to craft certain things. It looks like Kristoff's main strength is going to be upgrading. So upgrading our radar, upgrading our storage, thermo drill, and battery. But you can see the items required: cell battery, wire, cable ties. This is stuff that we don't have readily available right now. We'll have to find as loot once we go out and start exploring. And then roll as well. Still only have the one roll unlocked, but we'll be able to unlock more rolls as we level up. And then we can talk as well. So, Jacob, have you heard of Bird Tech Dynamics? 2 years ago, I hacked into their mainframe and found encrypted files for some kind of advanced robotics program. Then, after the asteroid hit, I discovered this little BD-750 robot packaged in a crate close to their headquarters. I call him Acolyte. The technology is unlike anything I've ever seen before. Seems to utilize some kind of advanced particle fission. Anyway, this could be a great opportunity to upgrade Acolyte's firmware and participate in some field training. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to run many tests myself, so we'll be learning as we go. Let's start with Acolyte's sonar scan and thermo drill, shall we? There's a Bird Tech van located to the north that I used as a landmark to bury some emergency components nearby. I won't tell you where I buried the components. Search around and see if you can find them. Check the crafting list and make sure you bring back the correct items for the firmware level 1 upgrade. And Jacob, if you have any C4 or handmade explosives, use them to blow open those Bird Tech vans. I've reprogrammed Acolyte to use the van's tracker devices, which should lower the rescue timer. Alright, so this is like a new quest for us. New event, Kristoff's story, Acolyte's firmware. Kristoff's responsible for Acolyte, your cutting-edge robot companion. You've agreed to undertake some field research. Search the vicinity of a Bird Tech van and use Acolyte's sonar scan and thermo drill to locate the buried firmware level 1 upgrade components. Then return to Kristoff and have him craft it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, am I right? Maybe not so much. What's up, Wen? So Wendy's still doing okay. So I just need to check in with these people from time to time. You can see we actually don't have the components anymore for the scrambled eggs, so we're gonna have to start thinking about food soon, and we can talk to her as well, of course. Hello, Jacob. Have you come to help? My list of recipes could do with expanding, but honestly, my mind's not what it used to be, so I could do with finding my old recipe book and getting some practice. Here's the key to my house. Take it with you and travel east to my old home on Maple Street. Once inside, you'll be able to use that key to unlock any room. If you can find my recipe book and bring it back, I should be able to expand my cookery list. Then, the more recipes I cook, the more we will have available to us. So there is Wendy's first event, part of Wendy's story, new recipes. Wendy has tasked you with expanding her list of recipes. She's given you her house key and asked you to take it and search her home for her recipe book. Find it and return it to the church. So, I just want to see here when we hit start, the Acolyte menu. The Acolyte menu details important game information from the items Acolyte is carrying, inventory to the stats and details of your team. Pay careful attention to Acolyte's battery level. Not only does it drain over time, but it will also lower as Acolyte's features are used. Interesting. The radar. The radar allows you to see your immediate surroundings and any discoveries you've made. Acolyte upgrades will improve its usefulness. Note the radar doesn't work when underground. The Jacob menu, this is my menu. This is where I find out my vitals. Lets you view important information related to game progression, events, and role achievements. The info submenu allows you to view Jacob's vitals, current rescue timer, and seeds tally. The church stats give an overview of your base, detailing all the supplies your team has available alongside how protected your church is. So we gotta focus on keeping things looking good around here, and like I said before, in tip-top shape. This is the team page, so we can actually get a page that has everybody's vitals listed all at once here without actually having to go find them to figure that out. That's good to know. I can just hit start and all the information is right there at my fingertips, or at my thumb tips, I guess I should say. The team menu gives you an overview of your team stats, current activity, and skills. Team members can be viewed here. Pay attention to their stats and currently assigned rations. This area shows the current member's activity. It also shows what they are crafting and their assigned role. So we want to make sure that people are always keeping active. They always have some sort of a crafting activity going on as often as possible, and hopefully they'll all have a role assigned soon. It'll all come together for us. Like I said, it's a lot right now, but it'll all come together for us. There's crafting. Crafting submenu shows the team's crafting list. This allows you to see what items are required to complete a chosen build. Think of it like your shopping list while out exploring. Okay, got you. To complete a chosen build. Think of it like a shopping list while out exploring. Got you. Alright, so here's each of them. Okay, so that's perfect because we can go like firmware level 1. We know we need 3 short wires, a BirdTech USB, circuit board, and 2 times cable ties. Gives a 2-minute whiteout warning. Oh, nice. Firmware level 1. Cool. So while we're out, when we go to check out this BirdTech van, I know exactly what I need to do. Just like it said, just like they said, like a shopping list. Perfect. And then there's other things too. See, wooden beds. These are all different upgrades. You can see exactly what you need for each of those things. So when you're out, you can keep informed about and stay on top of materials that you need to find. We have the Acolyte menu. Lets you keep track of Acolyte's various upgrades and features. Here you can see the upgrade status for each component. As the upgrades are crafted using Christoph's skills, the boxes will fill accordingly. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3. And that's just for radar. His battery can get upgraded. His sonar scan can get upgraded. You can see thermo drill, all these different categories in which you can upgrade Acolyte. Very nice. And then there's the inventory, which we are already semi-familiar with. The inventory menu, a place for you to view / organize your current inventory and use / equip items. Jacob's stats are viewed here and will update as items are used. For example, see your thirst stat regain as drinkables are used. So I can help boost my own vitals right through this menu by eating stuff and whatnot. The inventory grid is where your items are stored. Items can be discarded at any time, and specific items can be used or equipped. Pay attention to the stat area at the bottom to see the value of the currently highlighted item. Beautiful. Jacob's backpack items are shown here. These are one-time unlocks that grant special abilities. Backpack items allow Jacob to explore new areas and permanently combat the effects of the environment. Once discovered, backpack items will be permanently available. Oh, nice. So I've got Acolyte for my inventory and a little backpack, but they do function kind of differently. We have events, so under my menu there's a sub menu where it'll show active events or quests. Probably the more common way to identify them. The events sub menu shows you a list of all active events. Completing these will award you with RP. Events can be tackled in any order, and some can be tracked by highlighting and selecting them. Pay attention to different events, as some are more important than others. We need to be at the top of our game while we play this because, I mean, honestly, there's a lot going on here and a lot to balance out. This area shows more information about each event. If an event requires items to solve, they will be displayed here alongside the event description text. The lower area details the RP awarded for completing the event and how much time is remaining, if applicable. So some of these quests or events that we're getting from people will be time-sensitive requests. That's also good to know. So we can see Christoph's story. We can actually select, which one we want as kind of the active one, I guess, or the one that we're targeting at this moment in time. And then the roles sub-menu shows your current list of roles, allowing you to keep track of their unlocked status and which ones are currently assigned to your team. We still only have the heavy sleeper role assigned to Blaine, so not much changing here. But as we discovered, as we level up, we can choose which roles we want to unlock and then assign them accordingly. View the status of each role here. This allows you to see which achievements are still required to unlock the role and its effects. So We can go to events. I want to talk to everybody before we get out of here, though. I want to catch up with Maggie as well. So there's Maggie's menu. So everyone is still doing okay. There's the crafting. We're gonna have to go out on our first expedition soon, but again, I'm still just trying to get used to everything. You know what's funny? I played guitar in a high school punk band called The Asteroids. So I think the idea here is that an asteroid has hit the planet and caused poop to hit the fan, and we have taken shelter in this lovely church. The 5 of us. Just give me one quick second here. I just want to confirm that. Yeah, I'm surprised that it didn't start with some sort of a cinematic for that, but I think with a lot of games like this, you kind of discover the backstory as you go along. There you go. The year is 2018, and the world we once know. I love that time is just passing by here, and I just like don't even give a crap. How can I what menu can I open here to stop that clock from going? Oh no, it's still going, so I'll have to be quick with this. But the year is 2018, and the world we once knew is no more. The planet is buried deep beneath a constant snowfall after a devastating asteroid collision. Supplies are scarce, and each day provides a tougher challenge for survival than the last. We're Jacob Solomon. You got 30 days. So that's the gist. I don't think there's supposed to be much more of a backstory than that, but really cool. I like what I see so far. So our fuel is still okay. I didn't end up talking to Maggie. I let her get away from me. Hey Jacob, how'd you like the idea of helping me upgrade this place? I'm thinking, if you're going to be traveling around the void, it makes sense to keep the church in working order while you're away, right? The more we can upgrade this place, the less you'll have to worry about us being safe and warm while you're gone. A good place to start is that fire. I say we find a way to keep it running longer. I think we're going to need some kind of furnace. I've got a plan in my head of the parts we'll need, so maybe you can go gather the supplies, bring them back, and I'll get to work on the upgrade. Feel free to find the parts yourself, but I think there used to be some dumpsters near St. Clarence Park that could be a good place to start. So now here's Maggie's story, firing the furnace. Maggie's mechanic skills enable her to upgrade the church, and she has a new idea to help keep the church fire burning longer. Maggie suggests searching a nearby park to find the items required to build the furnace, the small furnace. Return to the church to have her craft it. So again, we're still seeing everybody's strength. Wendy with cooking, Christoph with upgrading acolytes, Maggie with upgrading things around here, around the church, and Blaine sleeping. No, I'm just kidding. He has his pluses too. He's been good with crafting some stuff. He crafted the tent for us on the go. We're not too far away from maybe going on our first expedition here. Most of what we have to do now is go find stuff. Wendy wants us to go to her house out in the void where she used to live before this apocalypse and find her recipe book so she can cook some sort of a souffle or something. I don't know. I feel like we have more important things to do than that. But Maggie wants us to find things for the furnace. Christoph wants us to go out and find things for acolyte. So most of our goals now require us to leave the church. So that's definitely our next step. The only person that we still have to talk to is Blaine. He's down here. What up, bud? Talk to me. Everyone's still doing okay. The vitals don't drop too quickly. Hey kid, how'd you like to learn some new survival skills? Truth is, I'm too old to be out there adventuring, but I think you'd make a good student. You might even be able to track the elusive white bear up in those mountains. Things stole some of my supplies. Let's start with something simple, eh? There's a tent in storage you can use to set up a base camp out in the void. Take this notebook too, got a few instructions for later. It also shows suggestions for where to build that campsite. I also added a few signpost markers to storage. They always point towards the church, so place them in the snow. And use them if you ever get lost in a whiteout. Saved my life a few times. Interesting. This is the second time that we've heard reference of whiteouts. It's obviously something that we're going to have to deal with when we go out there. And finally, Blaine's story, learning to survive. Blaine has offered to teach you his survival skills. Your first objective is to take the tent from storage and place it at one of the 3 designated locations. Blaine has also left some signpost markers to place on your travels if you choose. That seems pretty handy. So everybody is kind of... that's so weird. They're having like a conversation on their own. All right. I'll be over here, guys. So I think besides going out and getting some of these tasks done, now that we've kind of touched base with everybody, we should probably check out storage right here and see how we're doing. All right, so now we are able to see our full storage, what we truly have. We've got antibiotics, bandage rolls, baseball bat, that's more a kind of wood for the fire. We have bottled water, that's obviously for thirst. We have 16 large bottles of water and 3 small bottles of water. The small bottles are obviously for more of a pick up and go kind of thing. The large bottles are more for, when we're around out at the church here. Broom handle, that's gonna be, broom handle, no, we want all these. Broom handle, that's gonna be again more for wood, right, as I thought. There's our campsite tent. So yeah, we're gonna want a few of these things here. We already have a campsite tent, so we don't need a second one. Antibiotics, that's interesting. Perhaps people can get ill and whatnot. Do we really need anything else? Maybe we should take some of these consumables. Do I need anything else? Oh, here's the signpost markers. We're gonna want some of those. I'm gonna take all 5 because, let's be honest, if I get lost in a whiteout, 5 still probably ain't gonna be enough. So the idea with those are, if we're out there exploring and there happens to be a whiteout with snowfall and we can't see where we're going, you place those signposts like before the whiteout, obviously, or if you are anticipating one coming, and then that way it's easier to kind of track your location and know how to get back to the church so that you don't die of hypothermia. Yeah, we have the tent, we have the signpost markers in case. We don't really need anything else. So now the next most important thing is rationing. You see any wolves out there, kid? Seem to love that something. So this is what we have right now. In terms of meals, obviously I haven't had Wendy craft any more meals yet because, again, we really don't have any materials. The first big thing that we need to do here for all of the missions that we have, and really to progress any further, we have to go out and start finding some loot. But we do have some non-perishable food items: canned beans, canned pasta, canned peaches, and some chicken soup. So let's ration some of this stuff out before we go on our first expedition. So, Blaine, you're gonna get canned beans. Christoph, you're gonna get canned beans. Wendy, you're gonna get canned pasta. Maggie, you're gonna get canned pasta. And then the ladies will get the peaches. And the gentlemen will get the chicken soup. That seems even enough. Okay. And then we still have some stuff going forward. You know what else I need to here is... Wow. I have no idea how I'm gonna manage 5 people at the same time here. This is not gonna go as smoothly as I think it is. I want to take a couple. No, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna take 1 large bottle of water with me as well. You know what? Let's take 2 just in case. I wish I had more small ones than large ones. I said I wanted to take the small ones with me for, you know, as a more portable option, but that's okay. And then if I'm going on my first expedition here, we should probably take some stuff for me while we're out as well. I'll take a canned beans and a canned pasta and the canned peaches as well. That way I've got a little bit of variety. That should be good. That's pretty much it. And now we embark. Oh, there's the drinks. Okay, you know what? I'll give each person 1 large bottle of water, because hell, I took 2 as well. So each person should be allowed 1 large bottle of water. So now everyone's got food, everybody's got water. I've got some food and water. I've got my tent. I've got my markers in case things start to get a little hairy while I'm out there. Okay, our fuel has started to deplete a little bit. We should probably top that up before we leave. Let's top it up with something big here, like one of these large planks. Aha! Okay, so this is actually how we exit, just over here. Is it? Okay, so now our next issue. How do we get out of here? Oh, we climb out. Oh, we're underground right now. We're actually in the basement. Who even knew? When a whiteout strikes, you have a limited time to shelter from it. If you're outside when the whiteout timer reaches 0, you'll get separated from Acolyte and have to find your own way back to the church. Yikes. Places of interest don't show up on your radar like regular locations, but will be permanently added once you discover them. Be sure to search around. There's one thing I'm great at video games, it's like over searching, like obsessing about going everywhere. So don't worry, we will comb the area well. Alright, this is our first time outside now. It's almost about midnight, so I don't want to venture too far here. This is the outside. Again, there's our radar. We can see it for the first time. That's why our radar obviously wouldn't show in the church, because it said it can't be used underground. That should have been my first hint that we were in the underground portion of the church. Duh, we're like on top of 6 feet of snow right now. Wow, so there's all the different markers. We have nomads and strangers. There's the bird tech van, radio tower, dig spots, traps that you can set, church, campsite, snowmobile, all kinds of different vans with weapons and health and food, and you have icebergs and ice blocks and containers, and holy lord. Okay, my vitals are still good. I'm happy with how I left everybody back at the church. Okay, I just wanted to see how you would quit. So the only way to save in this game is to finish out a day and go to sleep, and then you can start and quit. Wow, we've taken in a lot of information, and so I think we just need to kind of settle with that for now. This is exciting. I feel like this one could definitely suck me in here. I just want to venture out a little bit to get an idea of what we have to work with. Hey Echo, looks like I'll need to upgrade you if I want to break this iceberg. Achievement unlocked day 1, so we just got an achievement for surviving our first day in the void. Woohoo! So this is an iceberg, but I obviously can't break it because I don't have the proper upgrade on Acolyte. So we have some exploring to do. We have a number of tasks assigned to us, one from each of our buddies back at the church, Blaine, Maggie, Wendy, and Christoph. We've learned some of the characters' different strengths and weaknesses, where we can lean on different characters. We've learned about rationing and storage and upgrading the church, upgrading acolytes, keeping the fire going, all of the simulation aspects from all of the vitals, maintaining hunger, thirst, morale, body temperature, energy levels, overall well-being. But now, like I said, our next thing is to start attacking some of these events or quests. All of them require us to just keep exploring out here. I'm actually going to head back into the church. We're going into day 2 now, so we spent most of day 1 just kind of getting settled in, talking with everybody, touching base with everybody. I just kind of wanted to, here in the first stream, to just get an idea of the game with the tutorial, get a taste of kind of what we're in for. And then we can kind of go from there. So my next stream, in part 2, we should be able to focus a little bit more on getting out there into the void and actually doing some of this exploration. So, interesting. So because I'm not tired, I obviously won't sleep. But that's kind of silly, because then I don't have the opportunity to save when I want to. I know it hasn't been that long. Let's go out and do a little bit of exploring then. It looks like we're gonna have to get things started here. Ooh, Wendy's got a dilemma for us. Hey Jacob, there's a nomad outside. Looks like they want to trade items with us. You think we should make the swap? We give them chicken soup, 1 bottled water, canned peaches, and canned beans, and we get a pelt, a knife, bleach, and building blocks. Yeah, I know we've got some canned stuff that we can spare, and some food items in general, and those are all some pretty valuable stuff we're getting in return, so yeah, we can do that. Absolutely. Huh, so definitely talk to people when they have question marks above their heads as well, because it looked like they can present different dilemmas to us, different scenarios where we have to do some decision making. So I just want to take a little nap, that's all. Okay, so now we can sleep. I guess maybe you have to be 90 or under. I was at like 91 for energy, so I was already good. The most important thing is, sleeping will save your game as a way. We already went through this stupid tutorial. Being affected by the passing of time. Sleeping can be canceled at any time. Okay, that's good. I didn't really need a lot of sleep. I know I didn't need a lot of sleep. But I just basically wanted to save the game, and that's great. Going in to our next stream, we'll be able to get out there in the void, start locating some of these materials, start completing some of these quests. These 30 days are literally going to fly by, so I really need to stay on top of things here. That's my biggest worry. That tablet game that I talked about a little earlier called 80 Days, where I had to try and go around the world in 80 days. It's a great game if you want to check it out. I think it's on iOS and Android. But man, those 80 days fly by, and you have to plan your trip accordingly, and like time passes quickly, just like in real life. You look up and we've already been in isolation and dealing with this pandemic for like 3 or 4 months now, so it's wild how fast time can fly. And that's my biggest fear with this game, is not getting a handle on all of these mechanics, and kind of drowning in time here. But we'll do our best. It looks like there's a lot to be excited about here with this one. Looks like a well-built indie, no doubt. It's nice to be playing something new, I'll tell you that much. I'm excited that we got this one underway. I can promise you this one's not going to be 94 videos long. It'll probably be more like 15 to 20 videos long, so a little bit different than Red Dead. But thanks again for joining me for another stream, getting us going here again. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get the convo going. If you have any tips or suggestions for gameplay, if you are an Impact Winter fanatic and you'd like to share your experiences with me, tip me off about anything coming up, definitely hit me up in the comments below and we'll keep that convo going. And soon enough, see you on the other side.